In this video, we're going to learn about elements, compounds, and mixtures. Why is it safe to put sodium chloride on fish and chips but not safe to use sodium and chlorine? Elements are materials made up of one type of atom only. The element hydrogen exists as molecules. Each hydrogen molecule is made up of two hydrogen atoms joined together. The compound, e.g. water, exists as molecule. Each water molecule consists of two hydrogen atoms joined to one oxygen atom. Making a compound, e.g. water. A compound is made when atoms of different elements react and join together. For example, water is produced from the chemical reaction between hydrogen and oxygen as shown in this equation. Why does water have different properties to its elements? Properties of a compound, e.g. carbon dioxide. A compound has different properties to the elements from which it is made because the atoms are joined differently. For instance, carbon plus oxygen, it will form carbon dioxide, which is a compound. Carbon is a black solid used as a fuel. Oxygen is a colorless gas in which many substances burn. And carbon dioxide is a colorless gas used in fizzy drinks and fire extinguishers. One carbon atom combines with two oxygen atoms to form carbon dioxide, having two oxygen atoms and one carbon atom. A compound is not a mixture. The atoms in a mixture of hydrogen gas and oxygen gas which have not reacted with each other look like this. The atoms in water, the compound made when hydrogen and oxygen react and their atoms become chemically joined to each other, look like this. So a compound is different from a mixture. Compound names and formula. To name simple compounds of metals and non-metals, number one, you need to write down the name of the metal. Write down the name of the non-metal, changing the ending of the word to IDE. For instance, what is the name of the compound made when the following elements combine? Magnesium and oxygen will form magnesium oxide. Sodium and chlorine will form sodium chloride. Oxygen and iron will form iron oxide. Many compounds contain more than two elements. For compounds containing two elements plus oxygen, the ending of the other nonmetal usually changes to a suffix ate. For example, in the table below, nickel, which is element, plus element 2 sulfur and element 3 oxygen, they form the compound nickel sulfate. Magnesium, nitrogen and oxygen forms magnesium nitrate. Sodium, nitrogen and oxygen, they will form sodium nitrate. Copper, sulfur and oxygen will form copper sulfate. And lastly, aluminium, bromine and oxygen will form aluminium bromate. Composition of compounds. A compound contains atoms from different elements that are chemically joined together. A compound always contains a particular amount of each element. It has a fixed composition. Compound names can get quite long and complicated, so the symbols of the elements are used as shorthand. The symbols of the elements in a compound are combined to give the formula of the compound. What is the formula of carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is made up of two oxygen atoms and one carbon atom. A formula uses the symbols of the elements in a compound. When there is more than one atom of each element, the number is always written after the symbol. For instance, carbon dioxide compound contains one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms bonded together. The formula is CO2. Water contains two hydrogen atoms bonded to one oxygen atom. The formula therefore is H2O. The formula shows the ratios of atoms in a compound. What is the formula? What is the formula of each of these compounds? In a formula, put the metal first as when naming compounds. For example, titanium oxide. For every titanium atom, there are two oxygen atoms. For every lithium atom, there is one oxygen atom. For every aluminium chloride atom, there are three chlorine atoms. So pause the video and try to work it out. What did you get? In silicon chloride, for every silicon atom there are 4 chlorine atoms. In manganese oxide, for every manganese atom there are 2 oxygen atoms. In aluminium oxide, for every 2 aluminium atoms there are 3 oxygen atoms. What does a formula show? What is the ratio of atoms in each compound? The first compound, aluminium oxide. The second one is manganese 4 oxide. The third one is silver oxide. And the last one is magnesium oxide. Try to work it out. Word equations. A word equation can be used to describe any chemical reaction, and that is any process in which atoms become joined in different ways. The steps for writing a word equations are: number 1, on the right hand side, put the name of the reactant or reactants. If there are 2 or more reactants, link them with a plus sign. Number 2, in the middle, write down an arrow. On the right hand side, put the name of the products or product. If there are 2 or more products, link them with a plus sign. What is the word equation? For example, lead reacts with oxygen to form lead oxide. What is the word equation for this reaction? Lead plus oxygen, it will form lead oxide. Why is lead oxide so different to both lead and oxygen? The lead and oxygen don't mix, they react to form lead oxide. This means that the lead and oxygen atom in the product are joined differently to the atoms in the reactant. Write out word equation for the following chemical reaction. The first one is limestone, also known as calcium carbonate, is heated to make calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. The word equation should be calcium carbonate is heated to form calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. When magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid to make magnesium chloride and hydrogen, the word equation will be magnesium plus hydrochloric acid. You get magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. When methane is burned to make carbon dioxide and water, then the word equation will be methane plus oxygen. It will form carbon dioxide plus water. What is a mixture? A mixture contains 2 or more substances that are mixed together but have not reacted with each other. Seawater is a mixture of salt, water, and other substances. A mixture is not the same as a compound. The proportion of the substances in a mixture are not fixed. The properties of a mixture are often an average of the properties of its ingredients, e.g. a mixture of black and a white powder is grey. The substances in a mixture are just mixed, not chemically joined, and so it is usually quite easy to separate the ingredients, e.g. it is easy to get salt from seawater. Separating immiscible liquids. Liquids that do not mix are described as immiscible. Examples of immiscible liquids are water with oil and water with petrol. On a small scale, immiscible liquids can be separated by simply removing the top layer using a pipette, as shown in the diagram. Separating miscible liquids. Liquids that mix are described as miscible. Examples of miscible liquids are water with alcohol or water with ethanol, petrol with kerosene. Miscible liquids can be separated by heating them to boiling. The components of the mixture have different boiling points and so will boil off at different temperature. This method of separation can either be fractional distillation or simple distillation. In this case, a container is used to recover the liquid as they boil off. This piece of apparatus is the tube that has cold water circulating around the outside. It cools down vapors and condenses them back to a liquid. Substances with low boiling points are collected first, while those with higher boiling points are collected later. This diagram shows a simple distillation that is used to obtain water from a salt solution. The thermometer is used to show that when the boiling point is reached. The condenser is used to condense vapors into liquids. Let's look at the separation method and what it separates. The first separation method is chromatography. Compounds in a solution with the same properties are separated, especially the color dyes. Filtration. Solids or group of solids and liquids in a mixture. Evaporation. Solids that cannot decompose when heated in a solution. Crystallization. Dissolved solids in a solution. Simple distillation. Liquids in a solution. Fractional distillation. A mixture of miscible or dissolved liquids with different boiling points. Separating funnel. Immiscible or undissolved liquids. Sublimation. Substances that sublime from two substances. Magnetic attraction. Magnetic substances from non-magnetic ones. How can each mixture be separated? A mixture of glass and water, when we wanted is glass, we can use filter method. A mixture of seawater, when wanted is salt, we can evaporate. A mixture of seawater, when wanted is water, we distill. A mixture of cooking oil and water, when wanted is cooking oil, we pipette. A mixture of alcohol and water, when wanted is alcohol, we distill. In summary, an atom is the smallest particle that can exist on its own. Boiling point, the temperature at which a pure liquid becomes a gas. A compound is a substance made up of two or more different types of atoms that are chemically joined together. Element is a substance made up of only one type of an atom. Formula, the symbols and numbers that represent the ratio of different atoms in a substance. Immiscible liquids which do not mix. Miscible liquids which do mix. Mixture, two or more substances that are mixed but not chemically joined together.